Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'll sleep when I'm dead? Well, the irony is, if we keep skipping sleep, that might happen sooner than we think. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 1 in 3 American adults aren't getting enough sleep. Sleep deprivation has become so widespread that the CDC now calls it a public health epidemic. As a student, I used to think sleep was optional, or something I could cut to squeeze more hours out of my day, whether it is to study or do homework. However, when I learned more about how deeply sleep impacts nearly every system in the body, from your heart and metabolism to your mood and memory, I realized it's not a luxury, it is a biological necessity. Today, I'll show you why sleep is essential for overall health, physically, mentally, emotionally, and socially, and how making small changes can dramatically improve your well being. First, we'll start by understanding what healthy sleep actually looks like. Then, we'll explore how it benefits your body and mind. And finally, we'll look at the risks of sleep deprivation and some practical ways for a better night's sleep. When we talk about health, we often focus on diet and exercise. Those are important. However, there is a third pillar of health, which is sleep. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, it defines healthy sleep as not just how long you sleep, but also how well and how regularly. For most adults, the recommended amount is 7 or more hours per night. But here's the problem. In a 2024 CDC survey, it found that around 35% of US adults sleep less than that. That's about 84 million people running on an energy deficit every single day. Healthy sleep also includes quality, meaning it's deep, restorative, and consistent. You should wake up feeling refreshed, not groggy or exhausted. And just like nutrition, sleep has junk food too. Things like inconsistent schedules, late night screens, caffeine, and stress can ruin its quality. So the goal isn't only to clock 7 hours, it is to get 7 hours of quality sleep. And here in this graph right here, it shows you the sleep cycle, which lasts 90 to 120 minutes. And when you sleep, you go through this cycle multiple times. In the first stage is only the first 5 to 10 minutes in stage 1. In this stage, you still feel drowsy. The second stage is similar. It is considered light sleep, and it is 20 minutes into your sleep cycle. The third stage is moderate sleep. The fourth stage is deep sleep. It usually lasts about 30 minutes. And stage 5, which is arguably the most important stage of the sleep cycle, is called REM sleep, which is abbreviated for rapid eye movement. Usually when you're dreaming, you are in the fifth stage of sleep. So as previously mentioned, when you sleep, it goes in this cycle multiple times throughout the night. That's why when you aren't getting enough hours of sleep, you may wake up in one of these beginning stages of sleep, which is why you wake up groggy. Now that we know what healthy sleep is and what the sleep cycle is, let's talk about why it matters. Sleep plays a massive role in your body's repair system. When you sleep, your heart and blood pressure lower, giving your cardiovascular system a break. Studies published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine show that sleeping fewer than 7 hours per night increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, and diabetes. Sleep also affects your immune system. According to the CDC, people who don't get enough sleep are more likely to get sick after exposure to viruses like the common cold or flu. And if you've ever tried to lose weight while sleep deprived, you may have noticed how difficult it is. That's because lack of sleep disrupts hormones that control hunger and appetite, such as ghrelin and leptin, making you crave high-calorie foods. So yes, sleep literally helps you stay fit, healthy, and alive. Sleep is also vital for your brain. During deep sleep, your brain sorts and stores memories, clears out waste proteins, and resets itself for the next day. When you don't sleep well, your attention, memory, and decision making suffer. The CDC notes that sleep helps regulate your mood and stress levels, and that's why after just one night of poor sleep, you might feel irritable, anxious, or down. In fact, chronic sleep deprivation is linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety disorders. And here's something many people overlook. Lack of sleep impairs your reaction time, almost as much as alcohol. Drowsy driving causes thousands of accidents every year, making it a serious public safety issue. So if you want to be healthier, happier, and safer, start with better sleep. And here's a graph, going over what we just discussed, such as how healthy sleep improves memory, weight management, energy boost, physical restoration, a healthy immune system, and a strong heart. Now let's look at what happens when we don't prioritize sleep. According to sleephealth.org, poor sleep affects every corner of life, from productivity to healthcare costs. In the State of Sleep Health in America, reports show that sleep-deprived workers have nearly 2.5 times more unplanned absence per month than a well-rested employee. That adds up to billions of dollars lost every year. But the personal toll is even higher. Physically chronic sleep is linked with increased risk of obesity, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease. Mentally, it increases the risk of burnout, irritability, and cognitive decline. Socially, it makes us less patient, less empathetic, and more prone to conflict. The good news is, most sleep problems can be improved with simple, consistent habits, also known as health hygiene. Here are 5 evidence-based tips from the CDC's sleep guidelines on how to keep a regular CDC's guidelines. First is to keep a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. The body's circadian rhythm loves routine. Next is create a sleep-friendly environment. Keep your room cool, quiet, and dark. Try blackout curtains or white noise machines if needed. And this is important to keep you comfortable and in that state of deep sleep. Thirdly, limit screen time before bed. I know it is common, or some people may want to relax by scrolling on their phones or being on their computers. However, blue light from phones and computers suppress melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy. Next is watch what you eat and drink. Avoid caffeine and alcohol and heavy meals close to bedtime. Finally, be active during the day. Regular physical activity helps you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. And if you're still struggling, and if you wake up frequently, snore loudly, or feel exhausted despite sleeping, you may have a sleep disorder such as insomnia or sleep apnea. In that case, it is important for you to speak to a healthcare professional. Sleep disorders are treatable, and addressing them can transform your life. Remember, sleep isn't a sign of laziness, it is a sign of good health. In short, sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired, it makes you sicker, slower, and sadder. The CDC warns that insufficient sleep is a key contributor to many chronic diseases, the same ones that are among the leading causes of death in the United States. So when we cut sleep, we're not gaining time, we are losing health. Sleep is not just downtime. It is an essential biological function that keeps your body healthy, your mind sharp, and your emotions balanced. Today, we went over what healthy sleep looks like and how it benefits our physical and mental health, and what happens when we neglect it. We also discussed realistic ways to improve sleep quality. But constantly cutting sleep to get more done is like burning a candle. You may get more light for the moment, but you burn out twice as fast. Because sleep isn't wasted time, it is recovery time, and your future self will thank you for it. And here are a list of my references, and thank you for listening to my speech on why sleep is important for the health. Thank you and have a good night.